Hello everyone and welcome to Archie's Ice's YouTube channel. Right, we're on chapter 2 of You're a Bad Man, Mr. Gum by Andy Stanton. Let's read. Chapter 2. A Massive Whopper of a Dog. One day, a massive whopper of a dog came to live on the outskirts of Lamonic Bibber. Where did he come from? Nobody knows. What strange things had he seen? Nobody knows. What was his name? Everybody knows. It was Jake the dog. He was a furry, rumble-me-tumble sort of a dog, and he was as friendly as toast. And he made himself very popular. He would often come into town to play with the children and give them rides on his enormous broad back. No matter how many children wanted to laugh on him, he never grew tired. He was just that sort of a dog. If he had been a person, he would probably have been a king, or at least a really cool racing driver with a helmet. Or perhaps he would have been a gardener, because Jake the dog loved nothing more than playing in his garden. He enjoyed rolling his big doggy body around on the springy green lawn to see what it felt like, and chomping up the flowers in his big doggy mouth to see what it tasted like. He looked so happy that nobody really minded his messy, pooey visits. In fact, a rumour began that if Jake the dog visited your garden, it meant you were in for some good luck, and if he left a little gift on your lawn, you were in for double good luck, and might even get a telegram from the Queen. The townsfolk started leaving pies and bones out on their lawns, hoping to tempt Jake into their gardens. Sometimes it worked, and sometimes not. Mostly he played where he liked and pooed where he flipping well felt like. He was a free spirit. Like Robin Hood or the Man in the Moon or something else, I don't know, he was just a dog after all. All summer long Jake played, and everything was fine until the fateful day he discovered a garden he'd never seen or played in before. It was the prettiest, greeniest, floweriest, garden in the whole of Lamonic Bibber. It was Mr. Gum's. On that fateful day, Mr. Gum was snoozing away in his unmade bed. I told you he was a laser. That's what lasers do. He was dreaming his favourite dream, the one where he was a giant terrorising the townsfolk. His enormous bloodshot eyes flashed evilly like flying saucers high up in the clouds as he snatched the roofs off houses to steal the toys from the children's bedroom. Nobody could stop him. He was the biggest and the best. He was whack. For a moment Mr. Gum did not know what was happening. Where was the tiny houses? Where were the frightened people? Where were the whack? Ow! Yelled Mr. Gum, rubbing his head and looking around in terror. Oh no! He rasped. The angry fairy was hovering over him, frying pan at the ready. Sort out the garden, you lazy snorer! Yelled the fairy, and down came the frying pan. Whack! Mr. Gum was too fast this time and shot out of bed like a guilty onion. Poof! Went the frying pan as it hit the bed covers, sending a little cloud of dust and ants. Mr. Gum legged it out of the bathroom and went hurtling down the stairs. He stepped on an old slice of pizza and skidded into the kitchen, riding it like a cheese and tomato surfboard. He could hear the fairy right behind him, shrieking with fury. I haven't done nothing wrong. I kept the flipping garden tidy, shouted Mr. Gum, as he flung open the back door and ran outside. He started to say something else, but when he saw the garden, the words got stuck in his throat. They tasted horrible. The garden was not tidy. The garden was a total wreck. The lawn was tufted up and torn. The flower beds were trampled and chewed. Rose petals and sunflower heads lay scattered all over the place like petal and sunflower heads. There was something lying under the oak tree that Mr. Gum did not even want to think about, and in the centre of the wreckage played the most monstrous dog Mr. Gum had ever seen. It was Jake, of course. The beast was rolling around for his own fun, his golden brown fur matted with the grass, his happy eyes squinting into the sunshine. Before Mr. Gum's disbelieving eyes, 9 moles popped out of their holes and joined the party. The 2 smallest ones began bouncing up and down on Jake's fairy belly and doing somersaults. The rest of them chased each other or had races. Whack! The pan came down on Mr. Gum's head faster than Superman. Slap! The pan whipped him on the belly, spoiling a fat one in the bottom. Mr. Gum doubled up in pain and tripled up in fear as the fairy raged. "It ain't my fault," he yelled. "I ain't never seen that dog before. Don't care whose bash fault it is. It's your splurk job to wallop. Do the darling right, you stupid trouser face." Mr. Gum flung himself down the lawn and lay there whimpering, his eyes shut tight in unbraveness. Jake, on the other hand, was having a brilliant time, but just then a cloud shaped like a bone drifted by. With a hungry bark, Jake ran off to chase it. Mr. Gum watched as the dog bounced over the fence and disappeared off to who knows where. The moles raced back to their mole holes at the speed of moles. As suddenly as it had begun, the terror was over. Mr. Gum spent all afternoon repairing the damage. The fairy watched over him, scowling and brandishing the frying pan dangerously to hurry him up. Eventually the garden was back to normal, and with one last whack for good measure, the fairy flew back to the bathtub and vanished. Mr. Gum breathed a sigh of relief and went inside to find he'd missed his favourite TV show, Bag of Sticks, which was a picture of Bag of Sticks for half an hour. Mr. Gum was the only person in the country who ever watched Bag of Sticks. Everyone else turned over to watch Fun Time with Crispy. "That dog ought to be given a meddling medal for such a meddler. I hope that's the last I see of him," muttered Mr. Gum. But it wasn't the last of Jake, it was the beginning. Jake's doggy brain could not stop thinking about that amazing garden, and the very next day he returned. And the day after that, and the day after that, it was the same results. But not the day after that, because it was Wednesday, and everyone knows that dogs have the day off on Wednesdays. But Thursday, you should have seen him. He was back with vengeance. Every day apart from Wednesdays, it was the same story. That massive whopper of dog would come bouncing over the fence and start romping around like an uncontrollable doctor. Sometimes leaving his little gifts as it was only natural. Mr. Gum would run out into the garden shaking his fist on the end of a stick to frighten him off, but he could never catch him. Jake would just bark a cheeky little schoolboy bark, and he'd bounce off over the spiky fence and disappear. 3 weeks later, Mr. Gum was covered in frying pan shaped bruises, and he had still missed 10 episodes of Bag of Sticks. It was time for action. Nasty action. "It's time for action," said Mr. Gum to nobody in particular. "Nasty action." Nobody in particular shrugged their shoulders and wandered off to eat his dinner. Mr. Gum went to the shed and got out his thinking cap. He put it on his knee. It was a knee cap. Then he started thinking about how to get rid of that dog. Should we do chapter 3? No. Well, thanks for watching. Leave a like and look out for the next video, or not the next video because we might do something else, but look out for chapter 3. Bye!